Hello out there, Kurt Vonderhaar from Cheetah Mobile Device Repairs in Highland. We are your 5-star rated cell phone and tablet repair store, conveniently located in Highland on Route 143. You can find us next to Little Caesars, the mailbox store, Clarkson Eye Care. You know where to find us. You can reach us during normal business hours at 618-651-8878 or reach us 24 hours a day right here on Facebook. Welcome to episode 4 of Cheetah Chat. So Cheetah Chat is a series I'm producing on video. We're going to go around the city of Highland and surrounding communities, talk to interesting people about interesting subjects, and just give you the information that you need and stuff maybe that you're looking for that you don't normally see around this area. So this is episode 4, and you know, if you like the content that I'm putting out on the social media channels, the way that you can help me out is by hitting like on this video. You can also go to our Facebook page, go to our YouTube page, go to our Instagram page. We're on all 3 of those platforms, and please like, follow, share our content on those social media platforms, and that will really help us to spread the word about Cheetah. So on episode 4 of Cheetah Chat, we are going to talk to City Manager Mark Latham. Mark has been the city manager in Highland since 2005, and he has had a 40-year career in public service working for city government. So he's got a long career. We're going to find out some more things about what's going on in the city of Highland. Hey Mark, how's it going?
Good.
Everybody, Mark Latham, Highland City Manager. How are you?
I'm doing well.
All right, say hello to everybody out there on Facebook.
Hello Facebook friends.
All right, so we're gonna do a little drive around town here and talk about some of the things going on in Highland. So we really appreciate you hopping in. Mark even wore the Cheetah colors. Look,
yeah,
he's got the orange and maybe even purple going on today. So that's great. Well, Mark, why don't you start out? Usually we start out Cheetah Chat by having the guests talk a little bit, maybe more about yourself, maybe about your family, where you grew up, that kind of information.
Well, I was born and raised in Streeter, Illinois, which is a little bit north of...
By Decatur?
No, it's actually up north of Bloomington.
Bloomington,
okay. 39, yeah. What's kind of unique about things is my father was an x-ray technician at St. Mary's Hospital, which is a sister of St. Joe here.
Okay.
In Highland. After graduation, went to school down in Northwest Arkansas to a private school called...
And you're a swimmer, right?
Yeah, I was a swimmer.
Okay.
Fortunate to get a scholarship there, and went to John Brown University, got not only a bachelor's degree, but also a master's degree from there. Met my wife.
At college?
At college.
Okay.
And she was born here in Highland, actually stayed through her, I think, 6th grade.
Mm-hmm.
But her brothers and sisters graduated from Highland. So we had some Highland connection. And we have one son, Derek, who lives here in Highland.
Okay.
Works for Walmart. And we're excited to be here.
So do you still swim?
Not as much as I would like to.
So will we find you out at Cordy Rec Center swimming laps or no?
Maybe. Maybe.
So that's great. Well, first question I have for you. So let's rewind back to 2005.
Okay.
Maybe when you started working for the city. What made you decide to take this opportunity in Highland?
Well, it's kind of ironic from the standpoint that in 2001 my dad died and my mother moved into a nursing home, and my sister kept bugging me about trying to get closer to where she was at.
Mm-hmm.
So I started looking at positions in Illinois, and it was...
You were working in Arkansas at the time?
Yeah. So my wife said, wouldn't it be ironic that you would actually find a job in Highland? And all of a sudden I'm looking at these advertisements for Highland.
And there it was.
And there it was, and
Very
I didn't tell her I applied for it.
Oh yeah?
And then they got a call for an interview, and that's kind of the way things ended up going.
Oh, that's great. So let me ask you, if you were a resident maybe of another town and you were considering moving to Highland, what do you think some of the things that make Highland a prime destination for residents?
Well, I think it always been as noted that we have excellent schools here.
Yep.
I also believe that we have a very family-friendly have plenty of parks.
Green space, right?
Green space. We have trails. We have, all kinds of good things for a family-friendly environment that they can actually. And the other thing is we have a very safe community.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things that we want to continue to strive for.
No, I agree 100% with everything you said there. Many of the things you talked about are the reasons why I moved to Highland 5 years ago.
Right.
That's great. So, we're getting ready to drive through the roundabout here at Iberg Road and Veterans Memorial Parkway. So, roundabouts are kind of becoming the standard thing now in Highland. We have, I think, 3 of them.
Yes.
Within the city limits. But, what was the impetus maybe for putting in the very first roundabout, and what are maybe some of the challenges of building these things that people don't think about?
Well, I cannot take credit for the first roundabout. The first roundabout was under the previous administration.
Okay.
Rob Bowman was the mayor. The first one was established out in Route 40 and Poplar.
Mm-hmm. Cars used to stack up there all the time, right?
Right. The same thing happened with the one on Broadway. Basically, funding's available through what they call CMAQ, which is a environmental thing where people are backing up and you got fumes coming up. So
okay, that's
I can remember when school was open, and if you were driving into town on Broadway, that you would actually have to be, it was backed up all the way back down, probably at least a quarter mile.
Wow.
Until we actually ended up getting those roundabouts in there. So that one's worked out really well. This one here, the brand new one, was really we found some emergency money that typically usually goes to Illinois, to Chicago.
Yep.
And ended up scoring high, and that's a 90% funded federal and 10% local match. So we fortunate to get that money and put it in.
No, I think one thing Highland does is you kind of try and find, smart ways to spend your money.
Right.
Look for other entities to piggyback and help pay for some of these large projects rather than just dumping $1 million on something. Hey, why not share that project with IDOT and have a $2 million project?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we just drove down Veterans Memorial Parkway. That's probably one of the newest roads that's been built in the city. Has that road kind of had its intended goals?
Well, originally that they had projected, the engineers projected that it would take about 1,300 cars off of Poplar and Broadway, and the last traffic count that we had was close to 2,400.
Wow.
So it's definitely has done its job, and we anticipate with the growth that'll happen out here on the east side and south side that it'll even become more of a good.
I noticed it looks like turnouts are built in, so you're expecting development out here as far as homes, businesses, that type of thing out on this road?
Eventually, I think so.
Yeah.
We have got water out here. The only thing that kind of probably deters a little bit of the growth would be the advantage of sewer. But I will tell you, we have some long-range goals to be able to access sewer in the future.
Yep. No, that's great. Well, we stopped out here at Renderer Park. I live pretty close to this park, so I love coming out here. I think this is a great addition to the city. What was kind of the story behind building this out here?
Well, there's two parts to this. One, when the comprehensive plan was actually completed in 2006, it was identified that there needed to be a park on the east side. That was one clue. The second clue is the Capel family that lives up here had owned this property, and when Dennis Render was out trying to get right away for the road, they indicated that they wanted to sell all the property. So it was kind of a win-win situation where we knew we needed a park on the east side and that they were willing to sell it. So that's how Ritter Park actually got developed.
Yeah, do you see, I know there's room for other development out here, maybe a splash pad, maybe different things. You have some other things planned for out here, different phases?
Well, yeah, the next one is the actual splash pad. So we'll be looking to hopefully put something out here. The other thing is over here is actually going to be a fishing area.
Okay.
And
out here at this lake area, little pond here.
We put fingerlings fish in here about 3 years ago, and hopefully maybe within next year or the year after that we'll be able to open it up.
No, that's great. So just to confirm,
fishing.
splash pad at Renderer Park is in the plans.
That's correct. Yes.
No, I think people out on Facebook will be very happy to hear about that. Yeah, for sure. Get a lot of comments on Facebook about wanting a splash pad. Where could it go? I thought out there would be a perfect place for it. I take my dog out there all the time. I know you're a dog lover, so it's a great place. Yeah, to take your pets. Hey, Parks and Recreation is one of the most visible, one of the best things, definitely, that Highland has going for it. So last night at the city council meeting, I noticed that one thing that the city council approved was a new walking path along Route 160 next to the high school. So why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Well, we do have a master trail plan, and part of the trail plan was to make sure we connect at the roundabout to the actual trail that's on 160 there by the hospital entrance. As you know, when typically we try to go out and seek funding for that, of which we did obtain. And so, as I mentioned last night in the council meeting, one of the things that has been a challenge for us is where we're going to put it. And so we've identified that the best solution is to actually take that large drainage area that we have,
smooth it over,
yeah. So that is scheduled to be out for bid, I believe, the 1st of January.
Okay. So
it'll get done sometime in next spring, which is good, advantageous for kids to walk to school, and as I mentioned before.
Yep. No, we see some kids walking around there once in a while, and like you said too, I think aesthetically that's going to look great.
Yeah.
Paving that over, putting the storm sewers in. No, that's awesome. So talking about development, kind of the city. One thing that I did read in the annual report that the city put out last year is that you're predicting population to go to say 15,000 by 2025. How do you see the city maybe getting to that number?
Well, we're hoping for continued growth on jobs, as well as continued growth with our residential development. The challenge right now, which I guess is a good challenge, is all our rental property. I mean, our major rentals properties are full. As you know, we've got a couple other rental units actually started works right now.
Out here on, is it Flax Drive? Yep.
And then we have the other one out on 143, which is targeted for 55 and older.
Okay. No, rental properties are definitely a shortage. I mean, if somebody's looking for a house to rent in the city of Highland, it gets snapped up like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
in our IDC meeting today, we found out that we're still low on purchased property. I think we're down to 50 properties that are available in Highland. We have a new subdivision being developed that has 3 homes on there that Mr. Metler did, and hopefully more of that development will start happening and will help us grow our community.
Yep. What can you, we're out here by where they've proposed to put the new public safety building. Can you tell us anything or an update maybe where that project's at?
Yeah. This really was a effort through strategic planning with the council about 3 years ago. We looked at what do we want to do in the next X amount of years, and identified that some of our facilities, like the swim pool, like the public safety areas, need to be addressed when it comes to outdated facilities. And part of that was the plan that we put together, which is actually by federal statutes, and a lot of people haven't done it, but we were one of the first ones to do it, which had to do with a ADA transition plan, which is completed and identified a lot of flaws in the existing, like the police station, what it would cost to upgrade to get that handicap accessible.
Mm-hmm.
The fire station, the same scenario. So we looked at actually building a new facility as a public safety. We were fortunate we bought property from the hospital, that 10 acres out there, and so we anticipate that being out for bid the first of the year, and we're out for bid on the improvements to the old fire station downtown.
Yeah, I saw that as like $1 million project.
Yeah.
So that's updating Fire Station 1 is kind of part of that overall plan.
That's correct.
To upgrade all the facilities.
Yeah.
No, that's great. I mean, a combined police and fire building, I think, is badly needed in Highland, and in a first-class city like we're in. We need to give our first responders first-class facilities to work out of and make work convenient for them, for sure. So, we've got, on the subject of maybe, new businesses coming to town, I've heard some things through the grapevine that maybe there's a expansion out at Trow Nutrition, maybe possibly a hemp processing plant that's looking at maybe the old HIghland recycling facility. What can you tell us about maybe some of those projects?
Well, we're starting to get some good vibes, even though we live in the this great state of Illinois. We have always wanted our existing industries to continue to add jobs, and we're fortunate that Trow is looking at doing that. They're looking at somewhere between an $18 to $20 million investment, and could even expand even more than that. So
sounds like business is good at Trow.
Big business is good. Dog food is like they said, it's not like 20 years ago where you fed your puppy old Roy, but you got a Walmart today. It's more expensive. People are willing to pay that kind of money.
Yeah, and they're a private label manufacturer for other dog food companies,
That's
right?
Correct. I think they're probably the number one, to be honest with you. And we're excited about that. The hemp project's kind of put on hold, but they had made a decision that they're actually doing a mobile service right now, and until they could actually get enough product to open up that facility,
sure,
it could be a delay by about 6 months. So,
well, I think hemp just got taken off the Schedule 1, so it's now legal to grow it,
right,
and grow it, commercially. So I think, you may see some farmers, maybe even around here, that may start growing hemp. And it's a hemp processing plant. I think that's important to point out too. Has nothing to do with marijuana,
No.
Has nothing to do with making marijuana products. They are going to process the hemp so that it can be used in other manufacturing processes, right?
right.
Yeah.
We've been getting a couple other inquiries. As you know, we're all about trying to provide jobs for people. About 10 years ago, we sent out a survey to the public, and their number one thing was they wanted jobs.
Yeah.
So we've been fortunate to be able to keep our industries here, and we want to continue to do
Be
that.
a manufacturing hub.
Yeah.
No doubt about that. Well, talking about bringing new businesses to town, what is HIghland? What are the top maybe 2 or 3 things that HIghland has to offer? If a business owner out there is watching this video and thinking about, locating or relocating his business, why would you tell him to come to HIghland?
Well, I still think we're very business friendly. We can do a lot of things, streamline the processes in order to be able to get them up and running. Secondly, I think that we do have low-cost utilities. We own every utility except for gas, and so we can always do whatever it takes, especially like on the electrical side.
HCS too.
The HCS.
I mean, we offer some of the fastest internet in the nation.
Right.
If that's not a selling point, for our city, I mean, that's huge.
And then the third thing would probably be, we do have several business districts as well as TIF districts in an enterprise zone. So there are a lot of things that we can do to incorporate a good incentive package for any business that want to come in.
Yeah, no, that's great. So business owners, if you're out there watching this video, give Mark a call, and he's going to tell you why you should locate, your business here in HIghland. A couple years ago, I think the city was very fortunate to get you to rescind your resignation. Mark was ready to retire on us and go off into the sunset, but the city council and city officials were able to talk him into staying. So thank you for that. Doing a great job. Well, before your contract ends in 2021, and I won't put you on the spot and ask you if you're going to stay, but maybe as you look towards the end of your contract, what are some of the projects that you'd like to see come to fruition?
Well, we talked about, we've we've talked about the 160 trail. I know that, I'll wait and answer the last two things that you indicated to me that were on Facebook, so we'll be able to address that.
Yep.
But probably, besides getting the public safety building built, and then also, trying to find a final solution, or at least a long-term solution for the swimming pool is probably the other thing that is on the docket.
And you're a swimmer, so you've got some skin in the game as far as a swimming pool goes. Our swimming pool, it's great out there. It's been there since 1965. Right? It's been there a long time. Probably wasn't intended to last this long, but I think the city of Highland can probably build something pretty spectacular when you guys put your minds to it out there.
Yeah, we anticipate having a report come to the council either probably the second week in October or first week in November. We've hired a company to come in and evaluate the existing pool on what it would do to upgrade it. I'm hoping people will actually visualize this thing about the fact that what is this town going to look like? And I've been through this back in Arkansas.
You built a big water park, right?
Yeah, and when we built it, everybody said it was too far out of town. Well, now today it's kind of the middle of town.
Right.
So you got to look at what
city centers shift 30. A little bit.
Yeah, and the city's building more on the north and east and south corners, and kind of going west. So we'll see.
One thing I wanted to ask a little bit before was I heard that maybe the city's landlocked, and that maybe it's a little bit hindered on development by not being able to acquire property on the city, on the city edges. Is that true? Or anything to that rumor?
Well, the rumor is, there is somewhat landlocked by one property owner that owns quite a bit of property around, especially on the south side of town. But I still think there's enough property around that can be developed, especially on the north side of things, that when you look at over there where some of the apartment complexes where Mr. Hunchy's building a subdivision out there. So I think there's plenty of property still available that we can continue to expand.
Okay. Well, let's the people on Facebook were nice enough to put some questions they'd like me to ask our city manager, so we're gonna go through those really quick. Jeff has asked us, is St. Rose Road going to get done? So they're talking about the Broadway extension out there getting repaved. Is that going to get done in 2019 or 2020?
It will be bid out on December 19 and will be completed sometime in the spring of 2020.
No, that's great. And if you're watching this video about 2 minutes in and it was really shaky, that's because we were driving over that road. So I live out there. It's definitely needed. So that'll be a great improvement to the roads in the city. Next question. Carol D has asked us, whatever happened to Oak Street getting redone? It's not safe for kids walking to school. They said they voted on some designs, but never heard anymore. What can you tell us about that?
Well, it's definitely in our project plans to do. We prioritize all our roads each year based on a criteria. So, I can't tell you exactly what year that might happen, but it's definitely in the program.
Yeah, it sounds like it's an expensive project, right?
It's about $1 million project.
And city only, not going to be able to share that cost with any other entity out there.
Dollars, yeah.
So you're talking about $1 million project right there on a road, and maybe it's not a high traffic count, I don't know, but it sounds like it's in people know, or you know about it.
It's in the program, and so each project is evaluated every year. We have a criteria we do, so eventually, hopefully, it'll get completed.
Yep, $1 million doesn't grow on trees, people.
Nope.
Got to figure out where to spend it effectively. Next question from Linda L. She says the rough railroad crossings. What can be done to fix those?
Well, what I would encourage them to do, just like the city does, we can't control the railroad. The railroad's controlled by the Illinois Commerce Commission. So if you can get on the website, there's an area that you can actually put a complaint in. I will tell you that the city has formally complained on not only the one on Hemlock, but also the one on Poplar Street.
Yep.
So, we will continue to follow that, make a few phone calls up there, see if they have any dates. that they're tracking, that the railroad would take care of it.
Yep. So what Mark would tell you to do if you're, have a complaint and you've driven over those railroad crossings, go on the ICC, the Illinois Commerce Commission, right? The ICC website, and file a complaint on there. The squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
So it sounds like you guys are doing what you have to do on the city's end. So citizenry, get out there and file the complaints on there, and that'll help out and get that done faster. Let's see. Got a couple more. Rachel H says where the sidewalks meet the road on the Sun Streets out there by Broadway, the transitions are pretty bad, and she's wondering, can anything be done to fix that?
Yes, through the new road that we're going to be doing, resurfacing on Broadway, or they mentioned St. Rose, those sidewalks will be all upgraded, and there will be some transition. There'll be some crossings along there, especially on the Sun Street areas that can get across from that would be from the north side over the south side.
Mm-hmm.
So those will be designated crossings with the deuce resurfacing.
Yep. So it sounds like smooth sailing for all the strollers rolling through there after they get that resurfacing project done. Looks like Diane H is asking us, can anything be done to control truck traffic on Northwest Manor, and also anything with the traffic between the lake and 143 there by Walmart? Said she's witnessed a lot of close calls there in that stretch of road.
Well, let me address the 143. City has no control of that. That's a state road. We have addressed some concerns that we have, that area probably needs to be 3-laned out there. So we'll continue